everybody. My name is Dani, and this is Realistic Intentionality, the podcast for highlighting super cool people who are living the life that they are meant to exist for in their own realistic and intentional ways. Today, we have a very special guest. He is a good friend of ours. He's been gracing his presence in our life with poetry workshops, doing, what was it?
Fukulu Radio Boy.
As a Fukulu radio boy at a church we've been going to. He is an incredible poet, incredible person, full of wisdom, insights, and just general spiritual awareness, which is just like a vibe, okay? So everybody, please give a warm welcome to Seth Duval.
Give me too much credit for that.
You know what? Every single guest I've ever had says that. We also have Looney Tooney joining us. She's also our guest. She is a kitten that was found in the trash by neighbor kids. So we, naturally decided that she's ours now. So she's going to just be creating chaos. As she should, as is her birthright as a trash kitten.
Tooney, do you have anything to say before we start? I can hear the purrs.
I know, she's got like the little like motorboat purrs. All right, so Seth, how's it going?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
Yes.
First of all.
Thank you for coming on so spur of the moment.
Of course, that's how you got to live life.
Yes.
The best things in life happen when you just say yes.
We were just talking about that on the way here, how it's like sometimes the most plot development and character development comes from those moments where you just say yes without thinking, and then you're just
that's what I'm saying. I have a coworker who told me that I have the deepest lore of anyone she's ever met. And I've, taken that to heart to just be like, I need to deepen this even more now.
I love that. I feel like I also have, not so much deep lore, but just, weird lore. When I told you about the bird, the flying suit in the basement.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm not going to elaborate further, so you guys can just contemplate that. Yeah, I definitely can see that. And so one of your biggest things is that you are a poet. And, you...
Yeah?
You are coming out with some poetry collections.
That is correct. Yes.
So tell me, how did you get started with poetry? When did you figure out that was a calling?
All right. I guess I kind of always knew that I liked writing.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first things that I ever wrote was back when I was maybe 5 or 6 years old, and I made a comic book series called Super Eraser Boy.
I love that.
And
notebook paper?
It was on notebook paper, and it was literally you take one of them square erasers that you'd buy from I don't know, an art store.
Yeah.
And I made an actual action figure first, and I put paper clips through them so it was arms and legs, and drew a little cape on the back of them.
Where he at now?
I don't know. Look, everyone be ready for my merch to come out, and it's going to be a bunch of action figures of this.
I love it.
But
already.
it was a whole series of this eraser that was sentient called Super Eraser Boy, and there was Super Eraser Girl, who was his sidekick partner, fighting an evil eraser that was also a vampire.
Okay, that took a turn.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
That took a 90-degree turn. In that, did he eat blood or did he eat pencil shavings?
Eraser shavings.
Oh, eraser shave. Got it. Okay, I like that. I
Yes.
like that. That was a little less of a 90-degree turn. That was only a 45-degree turn.
Yes. Now, If I asked my younger self why it was a vampire, I don't know. I could not answer that question.
Did you also have an action figure of that guy?
Yes.
And did you draw? I
would draw 2 little triangles for his teeth, and he would be a little vampire.
That is why. It's because it was accessible. Okay.
Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. So that's kind of where I started my writing journey. And I would make little things here. I used to make my own Yu-Gi-Oh cards and give them all little descriptions and everything like that when I used to play.
You were Team Yu-Gi-Oh instead of Team Pokemon?
That's a hard question.
Because you just said you made Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
I did make Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Did you make Pokemon cards?
I did not.
Well, guys, we got our answer.
We can discuss this later and we can have a whole conversation
What was it? White Eye, Blue Dragon?
Blue Eyes,
Blue Eyed,
Blue Eyes, White Dragon. which by the way, I actually found an action figure of at this flea market I went to yesterday, and I was so close to buying it.
Those action figures were sick. I feel
They
like we
were.
might have had that one, and I know for a fact we had the card.
I had one of one of my most prized possessions. We're getting a little off track here, but I just want to say it's one of my most prized possessions that was unfortunately stolen from me was the three original Blue Eyes White Dragons. I had like three of them.
All
Like
of them.
these cards were like expensive. I kept these for like to my heart, and I left them at a friend's house. And one of his other friends came over and stole all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I like never forgave this guy.
No, Seth, this is wild because I have my own lore of my holographic Charizard, first gen holographic Charizard, getting swindled. Now I was more active in that loss where I had a crush on this guy and it's fifth grade. So, you know, and so he said he had a Mew card, which Mew was my favorite Pokemon
Mm-hmm.
naturally because
Who doesn't like Mew?
right, obviously, like Mew is a very safe choice for favorite Pokemon.
Obviously.
And so I told him, I was like, okay, I'll trade you. I have this Charizard. I'll trade it for this Mew. Okay. He gave me the Mew, and I immediately was like, okay, this Mew actually like isn't as cool as like my Charizard was. And also like I was the youngest of like three kids and I had two older brothers. So like the cards were kind of collectively all ours. And they were like, nah, you should trade that back. So I asked him, I was like, hey, can I have that back?
Mm-hmm.
Because they were my brothers and I shouldn't have this Mew. The dude gives me back a printout of a Charizard card glued on to a different card. Very fifth grade, like a counterfeit Pokemon card creator of him. And I was really scared of confrontation, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't confront him about it. And honestly, I might have talked about this already on the podcast because this is a relevant thing. And it recently, there's, anyway. So it just goes in my life, and I think about that, and I get a stomach ache every time I think about it, and I get very upset, and I know his name, and I'm very tempted to say it, but I'm not going to because I'm a grown up now and I have a platform and I probably shouldn't put him on blast. But like if you happen to see this, just you're welcome for not telling everyone your name. But aside from that threatening aura to the camera, I just like was so upset by it. And as an adult, I was like, you know what? I have the self advocacy now that I can get my card back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tried to find him on Facebook and I couldn't find him and all this other stuff. And recently, I just had my 10-year high school reunion and I saw him there.
Did you go?
I did. I
Oh,
actually, I kind of like helped orchestrate my reunion, which is very weird and out of pocket considering I lived in Florida for 8 of the years. But I, whatever. Again, say yes to things, whatever. And I saw him, and so I asked everyone. I was like, everyone there. I was like, "Is that in poor taste? Like, is that kind of like ridiculous?" Not a single person said no.
And
Like
I agree with them. I don't think it is either.
everyone said that I was perfectly valid to go up to this like 28-year-old man and be like, "Give me the card you swindled from me in 5th grade." Everyone was supporting. But I think someone told him that I was going to confront him because he left very early. Very early. So I didn't get my card. But
You know what? It's the intention that you were going to do it because you started out this conversation, this like sidetrack of like, I am not a confrontational person, and then ended it with like, I am fully capable of being able to confront my fears and talking to this person and trying to get this back.
yeah.
And that growth just in that span is fantastic.
I mean, yeah, but I still want my card back. So 20-year reunion, it's on.
Fair.
So yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that, Seth. About these lost cards. Yes, it's a very real thing. I'm sorry about your three uh blue-eyed white dragons. That
It's okay. Honestly, I forgot about it until this moment, and now I feel heartbroken.
yeah,
But it's
I'm
okay.
with you. I actually
It's
have
all
this
right.
stomach ache from the Charizard right now. But so you were saying that you did those eraser comics and you would draw your own
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Okay, so yeah,
So
moving back into that conversation then.
childhood trauma aside, let's get back to this.
Yes. I need to recollect my thoughts now because now I'm in like angry mode right now that I lost these cards and I need to come back.
We should start an organization for kids that got swindled, or even just like adults,
should.
people that got swindled out of their cards. And like, I do have a
You know what?
holographic Blastoise though.
Nice. We should start a Discord. We're gonna start it. I'm speaking it into existence now. We're gonna start a Discord where anybody can join, and we could just talk about all the times that we've been swindled out of our cards.
Oh my god! And what if it became such a loving community that people then found and sourced the card that you lost?
That would be fantastic.
And then like grant it like just like a foundation for people that like lost their cards.
That would be beautiful. I want to see this happen.
Yeah, well, we're going to make it happen, guys. If you relate to that, please stay in touch. Seth and I will work on a foundation. Seth, you specialize in nonprofits.
I do specialize in nonprofits.
You said you didn't want to start a nonprofit, but I think we...
This might be the one that we start. Dude, oh my gosh.
There we go.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. We're going to make this a thing. Guys, stay in track. Stay with us here.
Yes.
You know, keep in touch. We're gonna make this happen. We'll let you know when it happens.
Yes. We're gonna keep an eye on it.
All right, perfect. All right, going back. I was a very creative kid.
Right.
This has nothing to do with poetry. That's gonna come later on.
No.
I think what really made it for me to be a writer and what kind of made that into a dream of mine was actually 7th grade. And I say that because I had a teacher, great guy. He had a Rise Against tattoo, and that's when I knew he was the greatest person ever.
That's awesome.
Like, so I absolutely loved that band. It was one of my favorite bands when I was in 7th grade, and I remember seeing it was on his calf, and I remember looking down because he was wearing shorts, and I was just like, I like you.
Yeah. Any tattoos on any teacher was like.
Oh yeah, but specifically Rise Against because like I was like that is the best band in the world right now for me.
Yeah, which is very like 7th grade. Like
yeah. So we had a project that was I believe it was the Odyssey that we were reading. And our project after that was to write a 3-page story of our own making. So it kind of had to follow the Odyssey, like how it was like that hero who like had this whole journey and came back at the end. So mine was not 3 pages. It turned out to be 13 pages. And I just kind of kept going. And I'm actually really like, I wish I knew this at that moment, but I had the second longest, because this wasn't just my class. This was like the school district. This was like something I had to do.
Yeah.
And out of the entire school district, I had the second longest story behind one other guy who had one more page than me.
Oh, 14, man.
And I was like, if I would have known that, I would have kept writing.
Right.
But like, I remember him coming to me and just telling me like it was like really good, and he was really proud of me for being able to write that many pages, especially when it was supposed to be 3 pages.
Right, in 7th grade, that's still pretty early. Like I did that in high school a lot, where like it would be a 5-page requirement, and I would write like 13.
Yeah.
Especially like creative writing. So I understand that, but 7th grade is exceptional to do that. Yeah.
So like when he told me that, it kind of like struck a chord in me that was like, maybe this is something that I need to keep doing. So that's kind of what I did do, and just like it's more so creative fiction, more so like short stories and stuff like that I would just write here and there. And then going into going into high school, I did creative writing for like 3 years, and like I liked poetry then, starting to write there. But it was more just a blend of everything. We did literally everything in that, but I don't think I really found my calling for poetry until COVID happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's kind of fresh.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
5 years. But...
5 years, but I mean, within that 5 years, what happened was I was working full time. You know, I was going to college. I had my girlfriend at the time. Like, my life was just full of so many things. Yet when COVID happened and I lost a lot of that, like school was online, so I couldn't really go anywhere. I lost my job, just felt empty.
Right.
I felt incredibly empty inside and just alone. And I don't know. I was going down this dark path of just like, what is my life? What am I doing right now? Does anything make sense? Like, why am I here? And I found a really hard time expressing myself. I'm not good when it comes to conversation with emotions.
Right.
Um, I mean, more so just how we grow up, especially as men, we're not supposed to share emotion. We're
Right.
supposed to keep that in and show that we're strong.
Even in a sensitive upbringing, like even if your parents try to raise you to understand it being, even that, then it's the whole rest of society.
Exactly, because that's the thing. Like, my parents were very supportive of me, like,
Right.
through and through, but I just, like, never had that, even with anybody else in my life, where, like, they were like, hey, tell me how you're feeling,
Right.
right? So I never had that, and I found it super difficult to just express myself and what I was feeling at that moment. And it almost just clicked. I remember, and it was really weird because it actually started with a picture. And I drew a picture of a hand outstretched towards a home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna actually get like a little like teary here. But it was a hand outstretched towards like a house. And it just flowed through me. I wrote this poem about like longing to go home
Mm-hmm.
and to find a place. And that's kind of where it all started because I wrote that and I was like, I was finally able to voice how I was feeling.
Right. And that is such a visceral feeling, like the longing for a home. Even if you have, a girlfriend or a house or like a childhood home with your parents still here, still alive, whatever. Like there is, especially in like, um, times of like longing, like COVID, especially,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like you feel like you're constantly reaching for a home that doesn't exist. And it's
Yeah,
like trying to trying to mourn a home that you don't even know you're missing is so difficult to do.
I think that's what it was, and I think it was not even in the external sense of a home, like an internal sense of who am I?
Yeah.
Like, who am I? I should be a home for myself. I should be a safe place for myself, and I didn't feel that.
Yeah.
It was questioning my very existence and why I'm here, and it's almost like who I am meant to be and who I was at that moment was so far out of reach that I didn't know how to get to that place.
Right.
So even though you can be surrounded by love with, my girlfriend or having a place that I can call home, it's like that's all good and stuff like that, but I don't feel like me.
Right.
So I was longing for that. And that's actually how my first book came along at the end of our travels.
Mm-hmm.
Because from there, I started writing every single day and falling in love with poetry because I finally figured out that I can make these words make sense to me in a way that I could express my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could tell you that I'm sad, but I couldn't tell you why.
Right.
With the, like, I just didn't have the right word choice, but if I do it in a poem, I am able to bring in that imagery and that emotion and form it in a way that makes sense to me to share with you.
Right.
So that's kind of what I did with that. And it's almost like I actually based it because at this time I was also getting into religion
Mm-hmm.
and reading. I read like the Tao Te Ching. I have the Bhagavad Gita. I was looking into like Christianity and stuff like that. I was looking at a bunch of religions and I found something that was called the Dark Night of the Soul,
Yeah.
which was what I originally based that book off of.
Mm-hmm.
Was that ego death? Was the death of myself? And that's kind of how my book progresses. Is the first part of it is questioning who I am, what I'm doing. Should I go down this road? Because I feel like if I do, I'm going to lose everything I ever loved.
Right.
And then going into that journey, experiencing a death, which is going to be that ego death, and coming out on the other side with much more knowledge of who I am as a person and
Yeah.
more knowledge of the world around me.
Right. And that is such an intense experience to be going through. Like the realization that you don't know yourself, and not only that you don't know yourself, but you don't feel safe with yourself, is such like a hollowing experience. And like and I've had it myself where I'm just like, who did I turn into? Like, how
Mm-hmm.
did my life get off the rails? I knew who I was and I felt safe with myself as a kid. How did I end up here as, a 20 something with no understanding of who am I and like what am I even going to do? How can I even try to understand myself? And then to investigate that with the hopes of like, okay, I'm going to turn up every stone, every shadow. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
allow myself to be fully immersed in this dark night of the soul, the darkness, to really start identifying, like, okay, there's cracks of light here, there's cracks of light there.
Yeah.
Like, who is this person waiting after all this muck that's been piled on for like years? Who is this light, this core person behind all that? And so to be doing that process while also documenting it in poem, that must have been extremely profound. And like, do you look back at those poems and just like get sucked right back in that moment?
There are times when I do, yeah. Like I look at those poems and it kind of gives me a reminder of who I was and how much I've grown as a
Right.
person at this point. I think that's more so what I use it as in like when I'm feeling down about myself now, or still feeling like, oh, I should be doing so much more. Like I'm able to look back at these words and the like and be able to document that and being like, well, this is where I was before and this is where I am now. I should be thankful. I should be grateful and that I'm even here right now to be able to do this
Mm-hmm.
and just know that like I can continue this path
Right.
to like personal growth because it's a lifelong journey. It's never going to stop.
Yeah.
But just to know that I've been able to walk down those into those trenches and still come up makes it much more like I am able to face the day
Right.
basically.
Yeah. It's a resilience because it's that safety.
Yeah.
You worked hard to find that home within yourself and find that core part of you that breathes hope into everything. And like, I feel like hope gets this bad rap of being like a cliche, like very Katara and like
Mhm.
Avatar Last Airbender, of like these impassioned speeches. But truly, hope is the thing that reminds us of who we are, what this world has to offer for us, what we have to offer for this world. And it allows us that safety
Mhm.
and that even in the hardest times, even in the darkest nights of the soul, or the big abysmal trenches of like rock bottom, if that glimmer of hope, that glimmer of self and recognition is there, that's what leads you out of it, because
Oh,
you just,
absolutely.
but you crawl yourself out of it towards that little
It's
light.
that light at the end of the tunnel. It's that what I mean, going back to the home, it's that one light that might be in the window that you can see while you're out in the
Yeah.
darkness in the forest, not knowing which way to go.
Yeah, that little beacon,
Yeah.
that draws you in. So that's really cool. Now what was that book called?
At the end of our travels.
At the end of our travels. I like that. And it's like, is that at the end of your travels there was like a home? There was, you reached for it, you would say?
So I don't want to give spoilers,
Uh,
but let's just say it seems like I found a home, but at the end of the day, I realized that this is a continuous journey and a lifelong journey. That even when I find myself out of that valley, I realize that there's going to be more valleys that are ahead of me
right.
and that I have to continue pressing on and knowing that even if I go back into these trenches, I still can come up for air.
Right. I love that. Honestly, and there's a song that I listen to by Trevor Hall, and he goes, "Home is where I wander." And I always try to think about that, cuz it's like, no matter where life takes you and the different paths and trenches and valleys, it's like, understand that that's part of your home.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you get through it, accept what it has to offer, and just keep moving. So, would you say are some big influences to your poetry? Now, you mentioned that your own personal development. What are some other things that you tap into for it?
That's a good question. A lot, like I said, a lot of like personal. Um, I think there's. It's a very good question.
I know that you've been working with some astronomy references.
Yeah,
So, are you influenced by nature, or?
absolutely. A lot of because also my second book was a personal journey as well, and that was super dark. And
Hey, listen. I'm in it for dark. You
uh,
know.
when I say dark, I I'm actually I am afraid of this book.
No.
I actually refuse to pick it up and read it. It is like the forgotten child. Like at the end of our travels is like that is my pure baby. I worked for 4 years on that book. this other one that I wrote called Polarized, which is about I was diagnosed with a mood disorder. So it's the
Mm,
back and forth of my mind from the good and the bad.
yeah.
And the bad is just I remember talking to my sister-in-law and she was like, "Oh, I was reading this and that one poem was really dark." And I'm like, "Which one?" And she was like, "The one where you said that you stay up at night just thinking about a knife and what you could do with that."
Yeah,
And
I can relate to that.
well, I was like, I don't even remember writing that. It like gives I'm like have shivers right now because I'm like I don't remember that.
Hmm.
I don't remember the poems in that book because I was in such a dark place
Right.
that what came out of me was something feral.
Right.
And like it actually like it does kind of scare me and I have not picked that book up for like at least a year. Like
Wow.
even like I have some of my books in like stores and like bookstores and I'm like, "Yeah, you guys can have this one. We're not going to talk about this one."
Yeah. Yeah. That one is a book. That is a book.
It's there. It's physically here, but mentally not. Um, so where I was going with that, because I don't want to talk about that one anymore, um, was that I realized that I wanted to write something lighter.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I can understand that segue.
So that's where a lot of the poems that I've been writing now, I wanted to bring light into the world instead of darkness into
Oh,
the world.
yeah.
So a lot of it does come from nature
Hmm.
because I think a lot of people are so, and I might be just like I don't know what I'm speaking about here, but I feel like people are so involved in their everyday life and the fast pace of it and just like the concrete walls that we put up like around us and everything like that that we
Mm.
don't stop and appreciate the nature that's around us.
Right. Stop and smell the roses.
Exactly, and that's what I've been trying to do with my poetry now is
Oh.
more so just like stop and take a moment to just be in nature, look around you, listen to the noises. Like this is where we're supposed to be. Just come back to it every so often.
Hmm. So you've been, I know, so you have, what are the little collections that you have in the works? Because I know you have more than one.
I do. So one of them was the nature one, and that is more so just nature poetry, and that's really just what it is. I just want to put something out there that's nature, so when people want to think about nature, they can read that.
Right.
The other one that I have working is called Infinity, and it is love poems based on astronomy.
I love that.
So, because I absolutely love space, I love learning about space, and I wanted to incorporate that into something. I was just like, this world needs more love.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna write love poems, but it has astronomical features in it, basically.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I feel
Hmm.
like even your, I like that your poetry reflects your personal journey and that the first one was really exploration of self. Then, the book that shall not be named really goes into like, okay, the darkness that was also discovered.
Yeah.
But now you're incorporating the love, the infinite starry nature of the love that you have within yourself, and then also just the natural side of things and the alignment with nature. I think that's really cool, and it really is. I mean, I have only met you recently, but I can really see that as you and like your personal development and like
Hmm.
how you have unfolded, and I think that's really incredible.
Yeah, honestly, and I think I can still say that even though I said that these two collections that I want to work on now are nature and love, poetry about space, it is still a reflection of the personal journey that I'm going on,
Hmm.
especially because like I said, I just like you said, I just met you as well,
Yeah.
and just everyone at the church, and I think I finally found a place where I'm able to feel that love, and
Yeah.
I'm able to express that, and I've had so many problems with being able to express love and like the home, and I just want to share this quick little experience that I had with our friend Amelia. She does like different kind of sessions, like spiritual sessions.
We have an episode with her too.
And I'll share my experience so you guys are ready for this. But I remember going into the session, and she was going to like align my chakras and kind of get some of that like that spiritual energy that I have piled up inside of me and kind of disperse that so I can be more like even.
Yeah.
Um, and I went into this and I was happy, you know, like I went on a kayaking trip with a bunch of people. Like I was already in a really great mood
Right.
going into this.
Yeah.
So I lay on the table and she's doing her thing and she's working on the chakras and everything like that. And I'm still just like, I have a smile on my face
Hmm.
and I have my eyes closed and she comes over to my head and holds my forehead right here and the back of my head right here.
Hmm.
And we're just sitting in silence. And she has music playing in the background, more so like esoteric kind of music.
Yeah.
And I remember opening my eyes and seeing a vision.
Hmm.
And stay with me here. The vision I had was two whales that were spinning above me, and I felt like that I was in an ocean, not drowning, but more so just kind of floating there in the depths of the ocean, not really able to move
Yeah, just
with
like
these,
suspended in it.
yeah, with these two whales that were spinning above me. And I remember listening to the music and hearing the sounds of whales.
Mm.
And I had this feeling, this really like this deep rooted feeling that these whales were beckoning me to come with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like I couldn't. I felt like I was trapped. Like they wanted me to follow them and I felt like I just couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And something happened where I kind of felt my body relax. Like I felt so tense in that moment. And then I think what happened was I realized I needed to let myself experience the universe
Mm.
and not hold myself back to it, because I think I do.
Mm-hmm.
So when I did that and kind of felt my body relax, and just a heads up, I might get teary here because I get teary every time I talk about it. I was able to follow the whales in this vision.
Mm-hmm.
And I followed them over this little canyon. And I told you I was going to get teary. It led to a vibrant community
Mm.
of just coral, like a coral reef that was super vibrant, super colorful, a bunch of natural, different animals that were there. It's just a whole community.
Mm-hmm.
And at that moment, and I don't know how she knew this, but at that moment, Amelia told me that I finally found a home and that I was
Mm.
a home for others.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry with you. No, like that is so amazing. And like Amelia really is an amazing
She
person.
is.
But yeah, for you to, because so much of the feeling that we don't have a home or we don't have a belonging or that we're not safe is the resistance to just allowing, like allowing it to be, allowing it to manifest,
Yeah.
allowing a lot, like we get so like tied up in like, oh, I'm gonna mess this up or this community's gonna somehow take a turn for the worse or whatever, and then just like allow yourself to like embrace it and follow it and just seeing it, and then you again like you find your home, and then you also allow it to be a home for others because your presence is necessary. And I can say that generally, like everyone's presence in life matters, and everyone deserves to be here, and everyone deserves the space they occupy. Absolutely.
Oh, I absolutely agree. You
But
know, I
like you for sure, like even in the church in this town, you are such a valued person, and you offer such humility and per like just like you're so what would be a good word for it, you're so well grounded, and that you allow your authenticity to bring out other people's. And I can truly say that, and I've truly watched it, where your presence allows people to almost relax and follow their own whale. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah. I really think that does come from the personal journey again, but also like understanding that feeling of being alone because I
Mm-hmm.
felt that way for so long
Mm-hmm.
that I don't want others to feel that way as well.
Right.
You know, so I wanted to be that person where they can feel that they're welcomed because I'm just like, and that's exactly what I wanted to do at the church was build a community of people who feel like they don't have a place to go and make them feel welcomed, or at least let them feel like they're welcomed into a space because like I said, I know what that feels like to not be like that.
Yeah. They call it a goat house because, no matter how the goats may stray in their own explorations, they are welcome there.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's a lot of it, because I feel like a lot of people feel like they can't go into these spaces because of past experiences or biases that they may have towards like a church or
Mhm.
like just communities in general, especially when looking through like social media. I don't know if you've experienced this, but I remember looking at that, and like there was a whole movement of like, oh, go and be by yourself, working yourself. You don't need anybody else. But
Yeah.
it's like
Part of
you
hustle
do.
culture. Yeah.
But you do need a community,
Yeah.
because those are the people who are going to love you and support you,
Hmm.
and you can do the same for them. And if you push yourself aside from all of that and stay by yourself, there's going to be something that feels like it's not fulfilled inside of you.
Right.
And you need that. Everybody needs that.
You need an upliftment of community and the purpose that it brings. And also just like I feel like if we just focus on ourselves and like our path and what we dictate as what we need to do, we're just gonna force ourselves into this rigid path of like what we want, and it's not gonna feel right. It's not gonna be in line. But when you allow yourself to integrate into a community, you get pulled in all these little yes adventures,
That's correct. Yeah.
and you find things about yourself you wouldn't have otherwise, and you find things about other people, and you find your purpose. I mean, like, how much, even thinking back, anyone, how much your life has evolved in ways you didn't anticipate because of the external factors pulling you into certain circumstances you have never put yourself in
Oh,
personally.
absolutely.
And it's a gift and it's magic. And so it's like community isn't just about like, oh, a third space to hang out, or oh, people to like get together with. It offers life enrichment
It
that
does.
just can't be, it can't be produced by yourself individually when you're alone in
Exactly.
your home,
Oh, yeah. I definitely agree with that. Like you said, like even on your own personal journey, like there's going to be things that you don't know about yourself and you're not ever going to see. And I've talked about this before when we had our sat sayings
Yeah.
about the four squares,
Yes.
right? And I'll bring this up here too. The four squares in psychology is the things that you know and other people know. So these are the things that you put out into the world. This could be your persona, the face that you wear when you walk out of your door,
Mhm.
right? There's the things that you know and people don't know. So this could be the things that are behind closed doors, the things that, maybe you don't necessarily want other people to see and you want to keep to yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Sometimes, you don't want to share everything about yourself. And then there's the
Yeah, like
things.
don't share that you pee in a pool with Seth because you know.
I'm just never getting in a pool with you, okay?
I was vulnerable, Seth. I was convinced by I thought everyone peed in pools. I was swayed. I thought that was the norm. I apologize. No, but I'm kidding.
She's not kidding. But anyway, look.
The third square.
Oh no, no, I feel like I need to share something about me now that you might not necessarily know. Well,
It's not that he pees in
I
pools.
don't pee in pools. I do pee in the shower though.
Right, which I didn't do until I was 19 when I lived with roommates because they were like, "Oh yeah, everyone like pees in the shower." And I was like, "What? What?" Like
It goes down the same drain
I just never
anyway.
thought about it. And that's also what ended up life's little pathways where then that put me on a path that would then turn me into a pool peer because I was so only toilet peer for like my entire life. I didn't even pee in the shower. And so, I found I was liberated to that at 19. So then when someone in my 20s tells me everyone pees in pools, and I was like, "Oh, it's like the shower thing. Everyone pees in showers." I guess we're all just peeing in pools.
You do you.
You're just not
I
swimming.
I accept that. I'm just not swimming near you. If I feel it get warm, I'm swimming the opposite way.
So what square is
Okay.
that? The square you don't want to share with others
Yes.
is so
Yes.
yeah.
That's that square.
Yeah, don't share that.
No. But then the next square is the things that you don't know about yourself but what other people know. So these could be the
Mm,
things that other people experience around you or see, the little small things that you do that you may not necessarily know because it's second nature to you.
mhm.
Because a lot of the time we will do things that we don't necessarily see. Like I know one thing for myself is that I bite my lip when I'm anxious. I'll sit there and I'll
Mm.
bite my lip or my like facial hair here, which is why I have to keep it short. And I remember my ex saying something about that. She's like, "Why do you do that?" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You bite your lip," and I'm like, "No, I don't." She's like, "Yeah, you do. You do it when like you're anxious." And I'm like, "Really? I did not know that."
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like conscious about it, but
I know, and
self-conscious about it.
right. Those things are like they seem so jarring. You know, it's like Dylan told me about. I told you this before we start recording that when I have like personal. I'm a space invader is
Mm-hmm.
what they call it, where it's like sometimes I invade people's space a little too closely. And he said when I would drink, it would get worse. And so then I was like, oh, like, ugh. And like he also told me how like I walk with one foot in, like kind of turned in, like I guess pigeon toed, is that what it is?
I think that's what that's called. Yeah.
But then I realized that my son River does that and that it's a muscle weakness. And I've
Oh,
been like
really?
trying to like, do like physical therapy, and it's actually a weak ankle that I have with like an injury too, a skateboarding injury.
Huh.
So, yeah, it's like it's helpful to know those things, but it's like it does take someone to do it, and you have to be receptive. You can't be like, "Oh,
Yeah, yes, you
cringe," or
do, but like also that's where the personal development comes in because
yeah.
now you can know these things about yourself and work on these things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially if like, oh, someone tells you, "Oh, you know you were like you talk a lot of drama." And
Mm,
it's like, "Oh, do I?" And it's like, yeah, a lot of the time like you will start personal drama and I don't know why you do it, but maybe it's because you're bored and it's like, "Oh." And now it's like I won't do that. Well, it's not try to do that.
right.
Like I caught myself when we were talking about a certain person. I was like, oh, I think I'm actually like really hating on this person right now, and I need to stop doing that because it's
Right.
putting negative energy into the world, and I don't want to do that.
Right. Oh, and dude, oh yeah. I actually I've been wanting to make a whole video about gossiping because it's like I feel like it's been ingrained in our culture, which is, but like now I'm like trying to like get away from it, but it
Yeah,
is very difficult.
it is extremely
That is a
difficult.
whole like thing I've been wanting to do. The last season of my podcast, I was really trying to hone in my rage because I had a lot of rage issues, and I
Hmm.
talked about it on my podcast. I think this season is like trying to judge less and gossip less. And that was actually my when I moved to Pennsylvania. I like moving back home, which you might understand because you lived in Arizona.
Yeah.
You kind of realize things about yourself and your circle. And I was like, okay, I'm noticing a lot of judgment in my life that I don't necessarily want. So it's like, but it is nice getting back to like the squares, and it's like what people tell you. It's like you got to be receptive. I like, oh man, I've never confronted someone for like big things, like when it comes, I used to. So I think as a Pisces and as an empathetic person,
Hmm.
I would notice patterns. I'm a very pattern oriented person, so I'd be like, okay, this person does this a lot. And I used to just like anytime there'd be a conflict, I would blurt it all out. And then I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I alienated and burned a lot of bridges. People don't like that. So then I stopped completely and I like closed up, and like now I have a hard time expressing to people even if it benefits them, where it's like, yeah, you might do this thing and it might not be beneficial. So I kind of just wait till people ask for advice, and I'll
Yeah.
be like, you want me to be like so for real with you right now? Like I can be so for real, but like do you want to know? And typically that way people are more receptive of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, that kind of reminds me of knowing that things pop into your life like lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I don't know if this happens to you, and I'm kind of getting a little off track. I'll talk about the last square in a second.
The last
The
square
last
will be
square, it
addressed.
is going to happen.
All right.
There are 4 squares within the square.
Just only talk about 3 of them. The 4 squares an enigma. Okay, guys, it's an illusion.
There's actually only 3. Haha. The
But
4 square is the square that they're in.
that sounds. That would be such a good like for like psych majors, some kind of exam would be like identify the 4 squares, but they only draw like 3, and there's like 1 in the corner of the page or something. All right, go on
Okay.
with your tangent.
But my tangent was that I do believe that the universe will put things in our life that we need to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it will continuously pop into our lives if you don't learn that lesson, and it is going to come harder and stronger at you until you
Mm-hmm.
finally learn these things.
Right.
And this has happened to me with standing up for myself in conflict because I
Yeah.
cannot tell you how many times I've been put in a situation where I'm like, I should say something and set boundaries and stand up for myself. But because I am too afraid to do it, I am just going to completely ignore the problem
Right.
and just hope it doesn't come back.
Hmm.
And like, I will ignore that problem, and that problem does go away. But then, like, a year or so later, something else happens that's like 20 times worse than like the other problem I was facing.
Hmm.
And like, I'm also not going to deal with this. And it's just a
Mm.
continuous cycle. And this has recently happened to me. And I was just like, it finally hit me that I was like, I am most likely going to be put in this position until I learn how to set boundaries for myself.
Yep.
Like, the universe was like, hey, you got to do this, and I'm not going to stop. And I'm like, all right, universe, like, I get it. I think I understand now,
Yeah.
and I'm going to try to do it. If I don't do it right, send it again, but I'm definitely going to try this time.
Right. That's interesting. And you know what? I feel like the past few sat songs, we always end up circling back to you can't fear conflict because conflict is a way to come to understanding.
Yep.
And so that's interesting. It's like, were those for you, Seth? Were you the one in the room that like
I may have
God has been, like,
manifested that. I
yeah,
don't
because
know.
I'm like, I even thought that today because again, we have these sat songs which are like discussion groups at the church that we go to. And yeah, every time it's like we get kind of back to the importance of like conflict and that must have I always was like thinking I was like I wonder like why this is and I just kind of assumed it was like society like okay there's a lot of conflict in society right now everyone's very polarized and radicalized against each other but it was you Seth.
Look, it wasn't just
It's
me.
both it's
It's
always all the options.
it's ours always. Like, I've had this conversation with Josh before too. It's not just me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, no. It's like
But
I have a rule of thumb. I'm like if you can name multiple reasons something is the way it is, it's all of them. It's all of them.
oh
That's the
yeah.
way the universe is. It's
Oh
all of
yeah.
them.
You have to listen to the universe because the universe is gonna put it into your life until you listen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've been having to learn the lesson with how to stand up for myself in conflict but in a way that is balanced. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I think I got raised with a very like, I'm right, you're wrong, I will not move my ground kind of way. And then when I found that didn't serve me, I just kind of like allowed other people's ways. And now I'm trying to find the balance between the two,
It's
which
always about balance.
yeah, that also gets talked about on this podcast a lot. Almost everyone is like, yeah, there's got to be balance, and it's tough.
I honestly think everything in life has to be about balance. No
Yeah,
matter what it is, there has to be moderation and balance.
and well, and we talk about how the nature of reality is an oscillation
Yeah.
between these polarities that are actually part of the greater whole, but they have to be addressed within each side to really get the whole picture of the bigger
But
whole.
that's the thing. You can't have one thing without the other,
Yeah.
right? You can't have light without shadow. You can't have love without hate.
Mhm.
Because I guess you can feel love, but you're not going to know what that feeling is actually like unless you experience the hate of something else.
Yeah, and sometimes you love someone so much you end up hating them. Just me, the room. No, or
I'm not going to disagree with that.
and hey, enemies to lovers, guys. It's a really
The
good.
slow burn romance.
It's a good trope for a reason. Okay, no, for sure. And I one time I did a bunch of acid one time with some friends, and I had the realization that so much of reality is threaded into the oscillation into the oppositional force. So it's like you are always going to be at a starting force and then swerve into the opposing force and then swerve into back to where you were. And it's that interest and it's that oscillation that really pulls reality to grow,
Oh yeah.
which, Josh would love this conversation.
He would love this conversation. He would, definitely. I mean, we can look at that we talked about this today at the church. Today's society with the pulling opposite, opposing forces of like the two different parties, because you can't just have one party take over because they're going to get so much power, and I feel like that's going to lead to like narcissism, lead to them feeling this like overarching, just like I can do anything. And if you
Yes.
don't have anything to fight back against that,
It's too
it's
much.
just going to be too much, and it's going to create this power structure that's ultimately going to fail in the end and crumble, and then we're going to be left in this primordial chaos
Right.
of just like, what do we do from here?
Right. Or when you play video games and you use too many cheats and it becomes too easy.
There you go.
Also that. I always give my Sims like way too much money, too nice of a house, too cute of outfits, all off the rip, and then it's just like, now what? Now what? It's like I've been thinking about restarting my Animal Crossing thing because I'm just like, where's the intrigue? I
Yeah.
got 5 stars.
Yeah.
I paid off my bills. Where is it? There's nothing gonna happen.
You know what? I like that. I also think that if you put in the work beforehand, it actually does make the game easier at the end too. Like
Yeah.
it's almost like, and I think that's a lot more rewarding because I remember playing like Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda, and I remember getting literally everything. I put in like hundreds of hours into this game to get literally everything that I could, and I remember going to fight Ganon, and
It was just too easy.
I literally sat there with a bow and arrow and shot him with arrows.
It was already an easy battle to begin with.
It literally took me 5 minutes, and then I remember at the end after that when you like have to run around on the horse, and like I
Yes.
literally jumped off my horse and was kind of just like walking around, like, all right, here we go, like shoot the arrow. It was like the easiest, but I put in the work beforehand.
Right.
Like that, I feel like that's why though. It's because I put in the work to get every single resource that I possibly could before facing the challenge.
Yeah.
And I feel like we can use this in actually everyday life.
Right.
To put in the find those resources and put in so much work that when you are actually faced with a challenge, that challenge is easy
Yeah.
because you're already prepared. You
Yeah.
have thought about every single possible consequence of this battle, and you are so prepared for it that nothing can stand in your way.
Right. Yeah. And like trust that like and then I always add like the trust where it's like trust that the work that you're doing is going to pay off even if you feel like you're doing work for nothing. It's like there is going to be a moment where all that work is going to pay off.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that I could honestly like I'm so tempted to get into Breath of the Wild talk because Dylan's been playing it and so I guided him to play in a lot better of a way than I did.
Mhm.
And he's finally like in the middle of the divine beasts and doing all that, and like I made sure he didn't get too overpowered so they're just challenging enough that they're like fun.
See, I didn't do that. And I just
I
I was,
got
I was like, I thought this game was supposed to be kind of hard.
yeah
But no, this was really easy. But I also have like the most powerful weapon in the game already. By the first time, like by the first divine beast, I already have like the master sword, and I'm like,
oh and so in Tears of the Kingdom, guys, this is gonna have a spoiler. In Tears of the Kingdom, when I got to the midway Phantom Ganon battle where it was
Uh-huh.
like the 5 Phantom Ganons at
Yes,
once or the
yes.
6 or whatever, and it was so difficult and I just could not do it, so I just walked away and I did every single side quest available to me. Did every single one. I was procrastinating. I was just doing every shrine, unlocking everything, blah, blah, blah. Like literally every stupid little fetching side quest
Mhm.
I did. And then I ended up having someone tell me that, like, okay, use the key eyeballs to lock in on the arrow. Literally so much detail. I'm giving you guys way too much detail for an intentional living podcast on this Tears of the Kingdom lore. But anyway, and I did it and I beat it. And then I breezed through the second half of the game. And then I had nothing to do then because I did all the side quests. And it was like, oh, yeah. So I'm like, now I know like the second time I play through that, it's going to be like a lot more fun. And I'm going to stretch it, just trust. Trust that the work will pay off at some point. Don't make it too easy on yourself, but also, set yourself up for success, right?
Yes.
Fourth square, Seth.
Fourth square.
Fourth square.
Finally, we're here. Fourth square.
we we made it. Touchdown. What I feel isn't Foursquare a game?
It is a game.
How does that game work? I haven't even thought about that
I haven't
since
played
like
that since
elementary
I haven't
school.
played it since elementary school. But anyway, Foursquare.
Touchdown.
Foursquare. It is. I need a drum roll. The things that you don't know and other people don't know as well.
Ooh, what's yet to be revealed?
What's yet to be revealed. The things that, you may not understand that you do and other people have not seen those things yet. Those are the behind the curtain, behind the closed door that's locked with some kind of key that someone maybe has. Like maybe they found a key in the woods on the ground. Or like, I don't know what this key is for, but it's eventually gonna work on something, and it's
It
actually
will
for
pay off. We
it
were
will.
just saying that. Full circle on the fourth square. It will. Something will pay off. There is something to
There
be
you
revealed.
go. Moral of the story: don't ever throw anything away. Become a hoarder, because you never know when you're gonna need
Keep
those
all
things.
keys.
There you go.
Keep all
Keep
keys.
all keys.
Keep all keys. That is honestly all right. Okay, so since it's been now 30 minutes since the first square. What were all the squares? I'm kidding. You don't have to repeat them. But just rewind.
I can repeat them if you want.
So there was the things that you know about you that others don't.
Yes.
Then there's the things that you don't know about you and other people don't. No, that's the last one.
That's the last one.
No, wait. Okay, there's the.
I mean, they don't have to go in order as long as you have 4
Are they?
squares.
Okay, so they're just like.
So I believe it's
They're
like
just hanging
I believe
out?
it's top right. Top left is the things you know and the things that other people know. Top right is the things that you know and others don't. Bottom left is what you don't know and others know, and then the bottom right is what you don't know and what others don't know.
I'm gonna make an infographic for that because, like, for this platform, I make little infographics.
I got you.
So I'll do that.
And honestly, I can't remember where I learned this. I'm pretty sure I learned it in college, but
Yes, yeah. So tell us, what did you go to college for, Seth?
all right. Get ready. I'm gonna say it slow because it is a very long title. I have a bachelor's of science in human development and community engagement with a concentration in nonprofit management and social entrepreneurship.
Exactly how many words was that?
I don't know. Too many.
Say it again.
Human development. Human development and community engagement with a concentration in nonprofit management and social entrepreneurship.
Well, I ran out of fingers, so.
Basically, to go work in a nonprofit.
Right.
Or run a nonprofit.
For our missing Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yes. Full circle. Why did I learn this? I don't know. It didn't make sense then and there. And now, what, like 8 years later? I know.
You know. See, it was the thing you didn't know.
I found the key in the woods, and now I finally found the door to unlock.
We did it. We found Seth's nonprofit. We are going to reunite you guys with your missing Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, baseball, whatever. Any kind of cards, right?
There we go. Yes.
Not credit cards. We can't help with that. But we can help with all sorts of cards. All for you.
There we go.
So, Seth, what are you looking forward to with your poetry journey?
Very good question. I think at this point, I want to make it less about me and more so giving a voice to others. And I say that I've had people comment or DM me on Instagram, and I remember there was this one that really hit home, and it was this one woman who was a teacher, and she messaged me and she was like, because I read your work, I found my own voice to write my own poetry.
Wow.
And I think that's what I want the purpose right now to be, is for if anyone's feeling any kind of way or needs any kind of remembrance of going out in nature or feeling loved or anything, to read my poems and feel that way.
Oh, you're going to help lead them home.
Yeah.
I love that. That's amazing. And I know that we've talked about eventually doing a poetry workshop too. So even in a very literal sense, I mean, we're going to try to bring some poetry to this little town that we live in.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
It's going to be awesome. Well, Seth, I think you're doing incredible work. And
Thank you.
I think that your poetry is beautiful. I think what you're doing is amazing. I think your purpose is truly aligned with every part of you that you don't know. I think you're on the right track. I think you're doing so great.
Thank you.
I think you are truly a gift to this world and our greater community, and I truly cannot wait to see everything that you do.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
And I can honestly say the same for you with this podcast. I mean, you are giving a platform for people to speak and to voice these things, to share with others. So
I'm trying. All right. we're staying open to our fourth squares, right? All right, Seth, would you like to close out with a poem?
yes, I would. And before I do that, I would just like to say my books are available on Amazon. So if you guys are interested, that's where you can find them.
And what's your username and tags and platforms?
Seth_Duval_poetry.
Yes.
Not very creative. However, I just wanted people to know my name.
You need to be accessible if you're gonna help people.
I did. I thought about changing it, but I was like, I kind of like it just my name.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. Keep it classic.
Gosh, I don't even. Okay. All right. You know what? I'm gonna share this one. This one is from Infinity. So it's the last one. It's number 59 out of 60. I won poem away from hitting my goal of how much I wanted to write. Okay, when it comes to writing poetry, I just want to say also, I'm a very stream of conscious poet, so I just write whatever comes to mind. It usually just flows through, and I don't think about it too much, and that's a lot of how my poetry comes to me.
I love that.
It's like I have one line, and just work off of that, and what comes of it, I don't know.
Hey, I love that. That's very cool.
So that's what this one is, and I have not edited it yet, so this is raw.
Unfiltered, guys.
Unfiltered. All right, I wrote this one while walking in the woods, by the way. Blessed I must be that even when the stars rain down like little pieces of heaven, shattering the mirror, revealing to me the hell I've been in, the apocalypse of my once self was destined to happen. So a new life can emerge, one where I'm stronger, more stable. Gifted these traits so that I can be brought to you on this rose-colored road, to gift you everything that I could not before the storm. But now that I am weathered, wiser and calmer, this hell that I've been in will become a mere slice of heaven now that I can be with you, my one true love.
Wow. Okay, first off, snaps, which I can only snap. But I will say that really ties into everything that you said about your journey with poetry. I mean, really about just weathering through that and finding the gratitude, because it allows you to be who you are now and in this moment, which is exactly what the world needs and is divinely planned. So amazing.
Thank you.
Good pick. Imagine if you would have just did a different poem that was like irrelevant to anything.
I know. I have this other one that I'm working on, which is more what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out here.
Okay, is it more random?
Not random, but more. What's that word?
I can't help you. Give me a word that's like the word.
I don't know what I don't know why the first word pops in my head.
I'm sending it to you.
No, because the first word that popped in my head was customizable, and I don't know why. Because that does not make any sense.
That's awesome. A poem that's customized. That actually sounds dope, though. To make a poetry book where people can like customize it is
that actually does sound pretty cool.
That would be good for our workshop.
That would be really good for our workshop. No, it's more like. Like different from what I usually do.
We're not logging off until
different from what I usually do.
Oh, okay. A little more different than what you usually do.
Do you know what? We can say it like that. It's more different from what I usually do. That's gonna blank on me now, and this is gonna bother me so much.
Not like more adventurous.
No, what's gonna happen is that we're gonna end this podcast, and like 5 hours later, when I'm like doing some random thing, it's gonna pop in my head.
So, what's the opposite of derivative?
I don't know.
Word. Thanks. I'm trying to help you out. What's up?
That's, I find this is one of those things I really struggle with, because I feel like I should know a lot of words because I'm a poet, but I feel like I don't know a lot of words.
I am so with you. And I'm constantly saying my poems are too Dr. Seussy because I just pick the most basic ass words with the basic ass rhyme schemes. Even though some would argue Dr. Seuss does not pick basic words because he invents his own. But, I mean, shut up. That made sense. Is it different than what you usually do? Oh! I had something that was close to, not trajectory, but uh about like going part off the veering off your normal trajectory.
Gosh, I swear this is going to bother me so much because I can't think of it. But
Do you have your phone?
I do have my phone.
All right. All right.
Do I what am I
So
looking up?
Google words for when
Words.
it's not typical of your nature or standard or what was the words you said earlier?
Now I can't even remember that. Hold up, backtrack. Can we rewind this real quick so I can listen?
No, we can't.
Different from what I usually do for when it's different from what
I can't even see your phone screen because you have one of those privacy things.
Yeah, because I had a friend who told me that he would screen snipe me all the time, and I felt very uncomfortable, so I was like, I want this. Unusual, abnormal, atypical, uncommon, peculiar,
Peculiar?
yes,
Peculiar?
that's how you say that word. Irregular or uniquely.
None of those seem right.
No, they don't. They don't seem right, do they? Diverse, versatile. Disparate. Ooh, divergent. I like that word.
Divergent is a good one.
I
That
like
reminds me
that
of
word.
the trajectory that I was
Yes.
thinking.
You know what? That's the word we're gonna use.
Divergent.
It's divergent.
All right, so that you're working on a poem that's more divergent from what you usually work on.
Yes.
We did it. We
We
found
did
a
it.
word.
Perfect.
Get two poets on a couch and we'll find a word that isn't actually the word, but it works, so we put it in.
All right. And you know what? Just to be humble here, and I want to ask you if you do this too.
Okay.
I will write a poem that has the most basic words,
Yeah.
and then when I'm editing it, I will
Google
literally
a better
go
word.
I will go on a thesaurus and be like, what is a synonym for this word, and
Yeah.
then use a better word.
Oh, all the time.
And I did that one time about stars shining in the sky, and I found the word scintillation.
Whoa, that's a word.
And it's like
That's a word.
that has become my favorite word, just to be like, that star is scintillating right now.
That goes so hard. Dude, some words are just like, you can tell they were conceived in cursive. And it's just like, which that line I just said, conceived in cursive, is a dope line.
That is a good line. That is really good.
You know me. But yeah, that's awesome. What are some words that I like? I like divergent. Oh, I love oscillate. That's why I say that a lot.
That is a good word.
I do. Tessellate. I like late. What was that word? The word
Scintillation.
Yeah, I like
Scintillate.
Yeah, I like late words a lot. They always like they're great. They picture the action perfect.
They do.
Like when it has a late. Every action word should end with late.
I agree.
Which I thought of the worst example of that, but that's fine. We're just gonna.
You know, I'm pretty sure I thought that same word after you said that.
Does it rhyme with schmajaculate?
You know what? I was thinking of the one that started with an M.
That's not late. That's bait.
It rhymes. It works.
We're done.
We're gonna write a poem right now.
We hit our limit, guys. Everything good has came out, and now it's just gonna get worse. So, thank you, Seth, for coming on. Everyone can find you.
Thank you for having me.
Seth Duval Poetry.
Yes.
And find your books on Amazon.
Yes.
Thank you so much. You're doing wonderful. You're doing great. Everyone, thank you for watching. Please remember that you are worthy of doing the things that call to you. You are deserving to try and explore and find this world to be your own home. And seriously, please know that you can create the life that you exist for. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day. Bye.